But right now, while you all deliberate Rule 1, Rule 2 in chat, let's talk about our top 10s. So, Chrome and Jahzo, our esteemed coaches here on Behind the Wheel, have put together their top 10 teams in North America. And what I would like to do is we will start with 6 to 10. We're going to show you those all at once, and we're going to go back and forth. So we're going to go Jahzo, Chrome, just so that we can debate at each stage. And hopefully you all don't have the exact same top 10 list, which I assume you don't. I have not seen either of them. So we will find out. So let's start with Chrome. Let's go through your 6 to 10. Give us your 6 to 10 and your methodology in putting them there.
Yeah, number 10, I have Susquehanna Sonics. I felt like at the beginning of the season they were having, incredible runs. They were a team that could not get a win for a couple months, picked up Jay Russ, and they've been performing lately, but they've been kind of also declining these past couple events. They've been losing to teams above them, Alpine, especially number 9, and Kansas City Pioneers and Knights as well. It's just with those teams, it's just like who's performing against each other. Like I feel like Susquehanna Sonics, they've lost to everyone above them pretty much. Same thing of Alpine, same thing of Pioneers and Pittsburgh Knights. Alpine as well, starting off strong in grids. They had a lackluster offseason as well as Sonics. They've been going up and down in grids and regionals. Pioneers, a team that did not perform in RLCS Season 9, I believe. Season 8, can't remember, honestly. It's been a while. They picked up a new player in Beast Mode, and sky's the limit for them. They've been performing. So a lot of upsets. Memory beating his old team in the United in the regionals to qualify for Stage 2. Same thing with Pittsburgh Knights. This is a team that made RLRS. This wasn't going to be a team that even made RLCS, but since this new format, you're playing a lot. It's going to benefit teams like that don't have that experience. And they've been performing. They managed to get top 8 in regionals. Didn't have a great performance in the playoff bracket, but they're also happening to get top 8 performances in the grid. And that's especially a team that's going to get better and better. And then Rogue, I just feel like they're beating everyone below them. They're struggling against everyone above them. They beat us. Good for them. They're a team that was top 4 going in.
They beat us. Good for them.
Good for them. They could beat us. Hey, they're a team that, whenever they play us, playstyle-wise, they play like the best team in the world, but they seem to struggle against everyone else, which is a surprise to me. We'll figure them out eventually. They're definitely on a team, one of the teams that could beat one of those looks to make it to lands or even possibly win a land if they figure out their issues. And yeah, that's my top 10 through 6. I think it's pretty spot on. I don't know about Jahzo. I didn't check his list, but I think I'm pretty on point.
Well, Jahzo, tell us your 6 through 10.
All right, so I've worked with Chrome a long time, and we share a lot of the same sentiments. Some specifics may differ, but as production pulls up my 6 through 10, you'll notice that our 6 and our 10 are exactly the same. That is because, just like Rob said, Rogue very typically loses to the teams above them and loses to the teams, or beats the teams below them. However, Rogue is a big question mark because I have seen Rogue beat the teams above them, especially in the off season or early season. I think there's something missing there, a little conviction, a little motivation, and they're definitely right there at 6, right? Like if we were looking at the 6 teams to go to a regular NA or international major, which I'm pretty sure is what happens normally without doing an online major, I would definitely put my bet on Rogue being that 6th team. On the other hand, Sonics, Susquehanna Sonics, they somehow edge out a bunch of playoff berths. And when I see them play, they don't typically make it past playoffs. Or if they don't make it to playoffs, they're getting beat by these teams that are just above them. Typically somewhere in the 1 through 5 rankings, and I think that's just a happenstance of them getting consistent seeds, and they run into these top 4 teams, top 6 teams, and they just end up losing. Now, KCP, Alpine, and Knights are in the same 7 through 9 spots as Chrome, just in a different order, because these are all teams I consider wild cards. They all have some impressive runs in previous weeks of the grid. They all kind of showed up in certain matches in Regional 1. They're all teams I have my eye on as a coach, as a scout, making sure I'm keeping my eye on teams that could be dangerous to my own team, right? So when I look at the Knights, KCP, Alpine, obviously KCP has actually drawn blood against us. Great for them, just like Rogue for SSG. But Alpine and Knights haven't really been able to. So I think that all 3 of these teams have potential to move up. It's just Rogue is kind of acting as that 6th seed gatekeeper.
Oh.
And I think Crow is used to being a gatekeeper and making sure people stay below them. So I'm not so worried about Rogue's position at 6th. I think they have room to grow, and they could bust into the 1 through 5 spot, but obviously they haven't this time around. So
I'm super surprised you have Knights as low as you do at 9.
I mean, look at the match history between SSG and G2, like differences, right? Like if
What's that
SSG,
to Knights?
because we played Knights a lot and we don't struggle with them. I'm talking this list, us being in the scene, this list has to come from personal experience and not just watching, right? If I know that every time we go up against PK we haven't really lost, then I can't put that much stock in them. I don't think SSG has played Knights enough to know that they're...
Oh, we played them. I think leading up to regionals, we played them like 3 times in a week, and they've always, they took a game off us every single series, and I mean they're performing against every other team, so they got good looks in them, and I think they can honestly improve from there. They've only been losing to the top 4 teams, so.
The important thing to remember about my 7 through 9 is that could really be any order. It's just I firmly have Sonics at 10, being like the top 10 gatekeeper of staying inside the grid, and I have Rogue firmly at 6, being the gatekeeper of top 5. So that 7 through 9 honestly could have been in any order. Because each of those rosters in 7 through 9 have notable wins against teams above them, but also notable losses, right? Like Alpine Regional 1 swept Rogue to make playoffs. KCP swept us in a qualifying match for Grid Week 3. Yeah. So each of those teams has performances that puts them in that spot. It's very tough to order them properly and in a way that people all agree on it.
Well, that's why we do power rankings, so that people can completely agree and not debate about it at all.
True.
It's just the best way to do it. Lawler, I do like the role of adjudicator, so feel free to jump in at any time as they're making their points and see where...
I'm just here to twist the knife, man. That's all. That's the only reason I'm here.
This is exactly what I like.
They're all friendship and rainbows and all over there. Like,
No.
yeah, we get along. We agree on a lot of things. No, yell at each other, please.
That's garbage, people, okay?
Don't worry, we'll get into that when we get to our top 5, so.